All right, we're recording. We're live.
We're live. What episode is this? 38?
39.
39.
39.
Under
And we're
different
doing
circumstances.
Just a little.
remote.
Yeah.
We
Long
got-
time, boys.
Yeah, been a while. When did you become a pilot there, Retta?
With the headpieces. They look all right, huh? Nah, I've got to use them for my computer. My sound's not the best.
So how's it been locked at home, boys?
Crazy. Groundhog Day. Gone from probably not having a day off or 1 or 2 days off in 12 months to now just having excess time to not even know what day it is. So, yeah, a bit all over the place.
I heard you told me you packed some monsters on FIFA, mate.
Yeah, that's literally all I've been doing is playing FIFA. But yeah, it's going all right.
Retta, how about you?
Yeah, just working from home. I don't know what day of the week it is anymore. I don't know when football's coming back. It feels weird. This is all weird.
I
It's
don't
still
think
weird.
it's coming back.
Yeah,
Not this
It's all
season.
at least not this season. Yeah, interesting. And I guess that's why we want to do these podcasts is just to get up to speed with everything going on, and I think just to hear a bit more from Steve in regards to like the whole training setups and how that's affected, I guess, businesses, but not only businesses but also football as well. It's probably a good opportunity to catch up. Yeah.
Yeah, so how long's it been now? Christ, I can't even remember.
Been like a month
We don't
now,
even know the
right?
day of the week,
It's
Steve.
been longer. Yeah, it's been like a month and a half since
Yeah.
we've been closed.
Wow.
So, yeah, found out on the Sunday night that we had to close on the Monday morning. So, from Sunday night to midday Monday morning, found out that we had to close. So, gone from all systems go to obviously changing. So, then from there, took a couple of days off to figure out what we were going to do. And then we moved up to the school, so at Hill Sports High School. Spent probably a week there, which was okay. Really enjoyed it outdoors. And then once those tougher restrictions came in, then we just canned everything for a little while, yeah. So going from all systems go to dead. But yeah, starting sessions back up next week. So obviously following government procedures and things like that. But yeah, starting back up on Monday, which will be good.
What's is there any changes? Do you know if there's been any more changes to trainings and stuff, or it's still going to be one-on-one work?
No, it's still going to be one-on-one. We're not going to do it bigger. We're not going to even do 2-on-1s unless they're from the same house. But yeah, that's just basically what it's going to be.
I've been a lot of people been asking for one-on-one sessions, considering there's no NPL seasons.
Yeah, so obviously we've been in contact with the law, but we just thought with all this uncertainty about not knowing what's going on, just thought it was in the best interest, just for our own safety, for our staff, just to bin it for a little while. But then just seeing how the way things are going now, potentially just look to open it back up. We did start online training, so it's something we'll talk about a little bit more in the back end. But that's something that's been very interesting, and it's added a new dimension to what potentially we can do moving forward in the future.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I think you've done the right thing there, Steve, because I've seen people still doing training and stuff, but you have to do the right thing by people and yourself and the community as well, because we want these restrictions lifted, and then
100%.
people going around doing stuff like that makes it longer.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, that was the train of thought all along as well. Just try to do the right thing because we have people coming from so far distance as well. Just try to limit the amount of travel that people are doing and then potential spread. But I'm no doctor, but we'll see what happens. If people are now allowed to start going visiting their friends and things like that, then it changes the situation a little bit. So a little bit more comfortable starting back up.
And the fine's not easy too.
Pardon?
The fine, it's pretty heavy as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But that was never something that we were going to do the right thing. Do the wrong thing. We're always going to follow whatever the instructions were from the government. But it's obviously been tough. So like I said, for me, nearly 3 years now, flat out to nothing. And then for our staff to momentarily be out of a job, you know what I mean? So it's really tough for everyone. Obviously, there's people doing a lot worse than us, but yeah, it's tough, and what the future looks like and what shape first phase looks like moving forward is still uncertain.
Yeah, that's right. And then what's interesting is that it hasn't just affected like just us, but everyone in general. You know what I mean? Like, there's no one that is excluded from. People have lost jobs. Just even the mental state of people. Just being at home, locked in between, four walls or whatever it might be, not being able to do what they usually do. It hurts. It does affect definitely. Not being able to see friends, whatever.
That'd be normal for you, wouldn't it, Retta?
Huh?
That'd be normal.
Yeah, I know, bro. But, hopefully we get through this easy. Yep.
I think just to be able to go out and get something to eat, like it would be like a massive wow. Because
Yeah.
now it's just like
There's
stay home.
people. Yeah. No, it's crazy times. So, like I said, who knows what the future holds, and who knows what it even looks like. What does Australian football look like after this?
Yeah, for sure.
So, but the only thing is, and this is something that players need to make the most of and take advantage of. When are you ever going to have this amount of time ever again? You know what I mean? So if I'm a young player from whatever age, like even my older players, if you're using this time properly and you're putting in the effort every single day, this is a massive opportunity for you to get more familiar with the ball and take your game to the next level. But you'll see out of this, and it's my biggest fan. I can see it already happening already. Too many people haven't been doing much in this time, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like even in their like not even saying going out, but at their own house, whatever it might be. Yeah, you can see it. So with our online programs, a lot of feedback getting from parents as well. It's like they'll start the programs and then it's just like, I can't get my kid motivated. I can't get them to do it. And if your kid's not motivated at 13, 14, 15, 16, there's massive problems.
Yeah, there's a lot of hours to be able to, kick a ball around and do stuff one-on-one, even with just a wall, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Um,
And that's how we set the programs up. Replicating similar stuff that we do in the factory, but stuff that you should be doing at home and stuff that we've shown for free a million times on our profiles. But it's just putting that in a more structured way, and it's been really good to see. But you see the ones that do it properly, and then you see the ones that start to fall away. I think that's pretty indicative of Australian football anyway. With the size of our talent pool, it is limited by just how cruisy we've got this life in general. Obviously now it's not great, but just being able to like put that extra effort in for players to do things, and that's the problem. When we see it a lot, they don't do it, and that's what hurts Australian football at the end of the day.
do you think that effects will be big, not just from a youth perspective, but what about professionals? Do you think that,
In what
when that,
way? With this
yeah,
pause?
yeah,
It depends how long it goes for. If it's over within the next month or so, and then people start getting back into it, won't take too much of a hit. But if it starts to become 6 months, 12 months, or whatever, then you don't know what the ramifications is. But it's going to be more like, what do the structures look like outside of this? Is the A League still going to be the A League? Is it still our club still going to be around? Like, what's going to happen?
I think the one pro I kind of see out of this is maybe, with a lot of clubs standing down players, especially with the foreigners, is that going to open up doors for some of the younger kids to be able to get the opportunity. So I think there might be pros out of all this.
Yeah.
Financially, most A-League clubs are not doing well at all.
Mm.
And we can see with some of the biggest clubs standing down players. So I don't know. There's probably a room for improvement, I guess, in youth development.
Yeah, but are you thinking of as if we continue the league or next season?
Yeah, next season, I think. I don't know if the league's still on, right? They haven't officially cancelled it yet, have
They
they?
haven't cancelled, but I think they will. They'll take suit. France now just cancelled their league. Netherlands cancelled their league. But it's funny because Netherlands made it just void and didn't count it. But France just said, whatever you finish, that's it.
Champions, yeah.
So what's happening in the EPL? We don't know yet, do we?
Liverpool will be champions for sure. 100%.
No.
It's not happening. No matter how much
But
you
but do you wanna do you actually want to win a title, like with still games to left? Like you think you deserve it?
Obviously, it's not ideal, but were we going to win the title anyway? 100% we were.
One game.
So, hey?
You're one game short of winning the title.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We almost didn't have to play another game if those other games were played by City.
I reckon it feels better when you have a full season, Steve. I reckon just save it to next year.
Obviously it is. But what are you supposed to do? But at the end of the day, we'll still take it.
I'll always have a apostrophe next to it.
Get out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But it looks like, they are looking to keep the Premier League going just because of the revenue involved in it. Like France, not much money. Netherlands, not much. A-League, I don't think Fox Sports want them to continue, so they don't have to pay them.
That's right.
But EPL, it's huge. Like the money that's still, and then people are like waiting for it, so they're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
It's just it's the whole money dispute with the players, and you think getting paid that much money, and you wouldn't, you still want another month's worth of salary.
What do you think of
the season?
Yeah, because that came up with Ozil, right? With his salary, he's not willing to.
I heard that from Roy Keane the other day, and it made sense. Like, you're a professional player, regardless of the situation, he goes, I understand like the lower leagues and the smaller clubs or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're at a Manchester United, Liverpool, and Arsenal, they're big clubs with big owners. Why should you take a pay cut? Because you've earned that money, that was your contract. Why should you not get paid it?
Yeah. But like you look at Chelsea, the Chelsea players were like, no, we're not taking a pay cut. The whole squad.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had to pay him, but they're like, can you at least donate some money to some charities? And they're like, yeah, we'll do that, but you have to pay us.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like Steve said, they're massive clubs. You got, Abramovich owns Chelsea. You know, the Manchester United is the richest club in the world. Like, why shouldn't you be paying full? You're not copying a hit.
Yeah.
People are still buying your merchandise.
Yeah. And that's what Roy Keane was talking about. He goes, obviously, the lower league clubs and the lower clubs, 100% you need to take a hit. But if you're at one of those big clubs and you're anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But I think with the A League, I think we're so reliant on Fox Sports in so many ways that, you know, like for example, Western Sydney Wanderers or even Perth Glory, Perth Glory could probably pick up some money to pay off their players. But yeah, it's probably more effective in the smaller leagues than the EPL.
Yeah, and that's the thing, being reliant on Fox Sport and Fox Sport basically wanting to ditch A-League because it's not making them any money. Ever since they lost the EPL, right? How many people still have Fox Sports?
Rare.
You know, who's paying $50 a month just to watch the A-League?
And I would like to see if you imagine how many people would have cancelled their subscription recently with Fox Sports.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, with no sport going on, like who the hell wants to have KO Sports or Fox Sports? I wouldn't. I've cancelled my membership. I'll tell you that now.
And that's the thing, right? So like the A-League, you're too reliant on just, TV income because you can't get fans into the game. So why aren't you trying to get fans to come to the game and sell tickets? Then just be reliant on TV revenue, which isn't, let's be honest, it's not that much money, like in all aspects of it, because not many people are watching the A-League. You don't see the A-League on the back of the newspapers.
Yeah.
You know, you see horse racing ahead of A-League. You see netball ahead of A-League. Yes, that's embarrassing. And if Fox Sports aren't pushing it in the media, then you need a new broadcast partner.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Would you the shambles? Did you see the Rob Sherman interview the other day?
No.
You know how he's left, right?
Yeah.
It was just basically it was just a waste of time. Couldn't get anything done. Couldn't get any decisions made. Just absolute shambles, man.
Yeah. Would you guys be for or against the cancellation this season, the A-League?
Does it really matter? I think the top 4 or top 6 or whatever it is, Sydney's already won the league. Like, it doesn't really matter. Just put us out of our misery for the Wanderers and just call it, man.
I think that's it's not even doesn't matter. It's like no one actually cares.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. It's truly is that bad that no one actually cares. Like, you cancel the A-League, people are like, well, okay.
Yeah.
You're playing games behind closed doors. Well, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Like, there's no fans to the games.
Yeah.
It's in such a shit state that it's not relevant, and that's really sad. Like, you look at the debacle about the rugby league and the AFL that's on television. Do you see anything about A-League resuming or anyone giving a toss about the A-League?
No.
And again, that's sad.
Adelaide coach has gone home as well. So he's not there. Like, the whole thing's just all over the place. And there wasn't very long to go, right? It was only 3 games or 4 games or something.
Yeah, before the finals. Then it's like,
it's
like no one cares, man. It's sad.
Yeah, a lot of foreigners have left the country.
Yeah. Well, as soon as they weren't getting paid, they're like, see ya.
But don't you think that opens up that avenue, I guess, for more of the younger players to have that?
The back end of the season it will, but I can't. Depending what the world looks like after all this, if money is similar to what it was or comparable, then I can't see the young boys getting any more of a chance than what they ever have. Obviously, at the back end of the season, they're going to need players now if it does resume anytime soon. So you just have to see. I think a lot of young boys did get it run this year, but if you start to have a look around, especially at Wanderers, I look at all the young ones out of the game.
Yeah, I think there's been a few more. Younger kids in other years. Yeah, you're definitely right there.
Yeah, if it continued, I think all the young boys would have got a go because the foreigners are gone. They wouldn't want to pay the foreigners anyway.
Yeah.
But if it gets cancelled, you have to wait till next year. If the budgets are cut, this is the problem that I always find, that the A-League try and get as many foreigners as they can, regardless of the quality of them, which is sad. It's like, because they're not that great. So why don't you just get some local boys in?
Yeah.
give them a chance.
Surely it'd be cheaper as well.
Yeah, of
Way
course.
cheaper.
But the only thing
Yeah.
is, if you're at a club, so say whatever club you support, and then they don't have any foreigners, you know what I mean? Then you're going to say, where are our foreigners if things aren't working? Obviously, if you're winning, you can do whatever you want. But that would be the problem that they would face. But I 100% agree. If you look at the Wanderers, bar probably season 1 and season 2, if you look at the foreigner we've had, they haven't been like heaps better than what we already had. You know what I mean? Than the local boys. If you look at the ones before Shinji Ono and all that, obviously different level. But the ones in the last couple of years been poor, very poor.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you look at Sydney FC, the foreigners they've brought in, like you know what I mean? It's
Ninkovic, yeah.
Ninkovic, who's now like I think he's not even a visa player anymore.
No.
But you got Lafondra, then like stuff like that. They had Bobo before that, Holosco.
Yeah.
Del
Sydney did it
Piero.
right, there's not too many other clubs that do.
And that's the thing. It's like, what if you're going to bring in a marquee? Bring in a marquee.
Yeah.
Like someone the fans are going to go and buy the shirt. Look, even when was it Newcastle signed Heskey?
Yeah.
Who was done.
Yeah.
But he's a big name, and they had 500 shirts printed and they're sold in an instant.
That same season, we had Del Piero, owner, and Heskey as well.
Yeah.
That was big. Yeah.
I was watching Newcastle games just to see Heskey, even though he did absolutely nothing.
Yeah. I'd rather save two players worth of salaries to get one decent marquee. For sure.
Dude,
for sure.
You'd cancel all. You'd go no more. One foreigner, one marquee. That's it. That's what the fans really want. One big name rather than 5 little names that you don't even know where they came from or where they played football.
Yeah, for sure. And then again, it opens up the more opportunities for our homegrown players as well.
Yeah, you got 300 professional contracts, and if each team was signing 5 foreigners, you're taking a big chunk away from that.
I was actually one of my friends was actually talking to me about it in terms of like why Australia's developing like a quality striker. And the stats were showing that most A-League clubs purchase strikers as their first choice marquee. Their visa spots are always foreigners. That's the result of why we haven't been producing like a very, very quality or good striker.
They don't produce any strikers because they never work with finishing. That's got something to do with it as well.
That's another thing. Yeah, very good point, Steve. Straight out now, very, very good point. Yeah.
At all levels, that's the problem.
Yeah, it's not just we bring in foreigners and stuff like that. It's like you're not developing them either.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, right? You like Steve just said, we're not working on finishing, but those strikers themselves, half of them aren't even taking it into their own hands to do it.
Yeah.
They're like, I made the A-League. Yeah, I don't need to practice anymore.
Yeah. We spoke about it all along, how it has a domino effect, just about the ambitions of the players that we have. And like you said, it seems like the ambition for the most of them is the A-League. So once they get to the A-League, then there's not that extra training. It's only those ones that want to actually progress and say the A-League is just the start rather than the end. But if you look at it, like players that aren't playing for clubs, say they've been there 18 months, they've played a handful of games, re-signing at clubs for another 2-3 years. Like, where's your ambition? You haven't played for the last 2 years. Why are you going to play for the next 3? Go somewhere where you're potentially going to play. But it's easy, you know what I mean? If you're in the same city, if you play in the same city that your family is, you're around your family, those kind of things. So these are the things that hurt people's ambition.
Yeah, they get too complacent for sure. And then once you've received your A-League contract, you think, that's it, we're done.
Yeah.
What's the paycheck? I've got a steady paycheck for the next 2 years.
Not really about the
paycheck.
Not just
for
about
these
the
guys,
paycheck.
it is
status as well, but
I think it's a status. I think it's more of status. You know, a kid at 19 receiving an A-League contract in Australia is the absolute bomb dream. Like, that's your ultimate dream.
But it's not that. Like Steve was saying, is when they get a renewal offer.
Oh,
and
yeah,
even been playing.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And you're like, oh, yeah, sweet. I got another 2 years as a professional getting 60 grand a year. I don't have to get a job or whatever.
And then what happens there, you start seeing the recycling. You know, they'll get re-signed, they're not playing, they'll go to another A-League club, and it just keeps going on and on and on and on.
And just the complacency kind of continues. And like Steve was saying, like, you know, they're not taking it into their hands. They're not, you know, trying to get better. As I think Gigi was saying, like, you know, Harry Kane, when he was at Tottenham, after each training session, would be out there for an hour just working on his finishing, and people would look at him like, what's he doing? Like, and it worked out for him.
Yeah, it was some A-League clubs.
You should all be doing that.
Yeah, but the issue is some A-League clubs pull up players for that.
All A-League clubs do that.
Mm.
That's the
Who
thing.
cares, man? At the end of the day, you got to take your own development in your hands. If you're going to wait around for someone to
But we've
boss you
spoken about that
around.
before, but the worst thing is, and we've seen this a lot more lately, is talking to the boys, like even players that aren't really playing aren't allowed to do those extras. You know what I mean? Some of the player that's not getting a lot of game time, so I want to do something to help me like get it within the coach's eye. I'm not even allowed to do that. So how am I ever going to get better to either get into this team or then get a team somewhere else? And you see it way too often. That's why you always need to make decisions that are in your own best interest at all times, that align to whatever your end goal is, not to your current situation. That always needs to be the guide.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's it. You have to take your future in your own hands. You can't let someone else decide it for you.
Yeah.
If you're not getting game time, you're not able to develop and improve.
Yeah.
What are you still doing there?
And that's what I think is going to be interesting coming out of this. So, like when leagues start back up or whatever, who's been putting in the work, who hasn't? You know what I mean? You could go on from in this downtime, especially if it goes on a couple more months, players that with this player's putting in work, this player's not. Once they come back, this player's here and this player's here. It's going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure. Now with this whole Corona, COVID, whatever you want to call it, right? Everything's going online. Like we're doing a podcast online. You know, we work online, but like and a lot of gyms are doing online services. But Steve, talk to us about your whole process of the whole thing you've got set up with the online training and stuff. Did you want to touch on that?
Yeah. So it's something we've always thought about for a long time. We've spoken about Ali for ages about having an online presence, something that we wanted to do. Time never really allowed us to get around to it. And then it was never even really the plan once we'd stopped now. But then we kept getting messages from players and parents, what can I do? What can I do? And so that's what kickstarted and why we did it. But the thought process behind it is to give players structured sessions each day. So they might only, depending how big the session is, it could be a 10-minute session, 15-minute, 30-minute session, depending how big the sets are. But to give you a structured session each day to say what you should be working on. So instead of just going out the park or down the back or whatever, just kicking a ball around, not really doing much, we structure the sessions so that it works on. So all the programs are based on things that you could do at your house. All right. So all you need is a ball, something to bounce the ball off, and then some markers. Could be shoes, could be cones, could be whatever. So I was just working on the passing, dribbling, and first touch and ball mastery things. So just getting familiar with the ball, trying to get over 1,000 touches every single session, and then just structuring that into weekly sessions that are tailored. All the programs are written by me. So we started off just small, and then it's grown now. So now we're working. I set one up for one of the girls that was just playing in the W League. She's playing in the American League. I set a program up for her just today. Set a program up for Caitlin the other week, and little Sammy Abdul overseas. So it's given us the opportunity for players that we work with to then still be able to touch base with and give them ideas and things that they can still be working on. A lot of the girls, obviously here in Sydney, Amy, Rachel, all those are all on programs. But with us starting sessions again, they'll all just start coming back in for sessions.
And these, like the scheduling or the program you put together, it changes, right? So it's not the same.
Yeah, so it changes every day. So you'll get it. So you've got like a calendar to show each of the activities that you have to do for that day. Each activity has an explanation and a video. So if I'm not sure what it is, I can look at the video and then it tells me how many sets, how many reps.
Oh, beautiful.
To do. So like I said, it gives you that structure, but it's also teaching players to be able to train at home. Because like I said, a lot of the time, and even I know when I was younger, like, what do I work on? What do I do? Have a bit of a kick, not really sure. But it gives you that structure to then be able to work yourself and train in isolation by yourself. So that if that's a habit that you can start to introduce into your game, and not only while you're in isolation, but once you get out of it, then the levels that you can go to are going to be astronomical. But yeah, so that's the purpose behind the thought process. Obviously, it allows us to work with players in different places, and that's how we'll look to build it once we do open back up in whatever shape that may take. That's a look to work with players further away from us.
A lot of gyms are now starting to do it, right? Where they're doing like online PT courses and stuff. But I've never seen
Well,
the football,
you
which
have
is
to
great.
evolve. I mean, you know what I mean? Like Bill's still part. Bills still come in, and that's like the honest situation with us in the factory. I got no idea how that looks at the end. I got sent an invoice the other day of $68,000. That's just rent for when we haven't been in there. We haven't got $68,000. Our income stopped. You know what I mean? So that's the situation that we're in. So yeah, who knows what the future holds and what form we look like to initially.
Yeah, it's uncertainty of the future, I guess. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just crazy times, and that's what I mean. Like there'd be places that pay less rent than us. There'd be people that places that pay more. But anyone that like is in the situation where you've been told by the government you're forced to stop, and now all of a sudden you're still having to pay your rent or whatever. Like, it's just
Yeah.
a crazy time. And the government haven't really stepped in to say this is what this is what it is. You know what I mean? To say the rent stops or this stops or whatever it might be. It's just sort it out yourselves. The only thing that the real estate can't do right now is kick you out. That's it. But I haven't been back to the factory since we closed.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fuck, you must be missing it, bro.
Crazy, but
Yeah.
yeah,
For sure.
it's been well over a month now since I've been back to the factory.
I haven't been in, to work now for like about 2 months, or in the office.
Yeah,
Probably about 2 months, yeah.
We're fortunate to have the field at school, so at Hill Sports High School, just around the corner, literally
Yeah.
1 minute away. We're blessed to still have that, so that allows us to still move forward. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Ali?
this is good. But the online platform, like, just to touch up on it, and we'll try and put it like a video up of it.
Yeah.
Like, when Steve showed it to me, I was like, wow, this is amazing, because it's got the workout. It's got exactly what you're meant to do in a video of what you're meant to do. And on top of that, you can record it and upload it, and then Stevie can check it out. And Stevie was saying how he was going through and checking out people's thing, making comments, telling them to make adjustments here and there. So it's like, for people that don't live in Sydney moving forward, it's fantastic, for $10 a week.
And that's what we've always tried to do, is provide value. You know what I mean? And for just over $1.50 a day, whatever, you're getting a full session that's planned by me. You're getting a weekly program, and I think something like, it's not only something to subside us now, it's something that moving forward, I think can be a massive, like a value-added thing that we can give to the football community moving forward, and the shapes that it can take as well. So now that we're moving back into one-on-ones, obviously with limited hours, we're doing 2 hours or 3 hours per day or whatever. We've gone down from 12 hours or whatever it was. But yeah, continuing that, so players train with us in person, and then from there, based off sessions, then their programs on the online platform are then tailored to things that they need to be working on in between those sessions. So I think what we've been doing can now be amplified, and I think we can do a lot more with our players now with this platform.
Yeah, that's one of the pros, I guess, of coronavirus, is realizing how we can still keep in touch online. Do you know what I mean? Like, being able to expand our knowledge, and who would have ever thought online coaching, whereby, and I've seen it sometimes with commercials and ads online, where you get a dedicated coach, whatever, but on a professional level, where you've got, who was it, Caitlin, doing some of these sessions, it just goes to show the quality of the training sessions you can put together online.
Yeah, but it's similar stuff that we would do in our sessions with normal players and with pros. Like, it's not the pros do this and the other players do this. The players, obviously, they do it at a different level or whatever, but the foundation and what this program is based off is relevant for everybody. That's why a player that's at an MPL1 level would be able to do the same program to a degree that one doesn't do.
For sure, especially when you're not playing, right? And you're not touching the ball as much as you probably would be. Being able to...
it's just a methodology, and it's just an understanding. But I had a parent the other day tell me they wanted to cancel the subscription because they were looking for more advanced drills. And this was literally one of the programs I'd sent to one of the pros. I was thinking, like, no dramas. Like, I don't know what you were expecting or what you were looking for, but if you want to get a better play and you want to solidify that foundation, then do the program. If you don't, you want to do more outlandish tricks or whatever, then go find something else.
It's because you've got no juggling drills.
Pardon?
You've got no juggling drills.
Yeah, so you've got no, like, push-ups, taking your shirt off and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's, I don't know, the double flicks or whatever.
The dumbbells.
Yeah. I've always said a house is built on a solid foundation. A football is the same, and that's what people don't understand. You see all these gimmicks, and you still see it, especially even more during this corona, you see it. But, like, if you want to be a good player, then you need to have good basics, and that's the problem. And a lot of it, if you look at how many players can consistently and effectively take a first touch, not many, you know what I mean? And that's the thing, but we want to flick the ball, we want to do all these kind of things, but it is what it is, man.
Interesting. Steve, you're quite close to some play. Yeah, go ahead, Ali.
No, it's all right. Yeah.
No, I was just going to touch on another point, I guess, so change a bit of topic, is that, Steve, you're close to some of these plays and stuff. Have you noticed that this whole situation is affecting them mentally as well?
Yeah, I think it's the uncertainty that nobody knows, like, really what's going on. Like, training could come back next week. Training might not be back till another year. Like, clubs might be back or whatever. So the ones that I feel the most for during the situation is the female players. especially ones that were in between contracts. So if I was, say, in the W League and I wasn't on loan, like one of the American girls on loan, if I'm on contract with the W League, I couldn't have signed a new contract with my club. So then by the time that contract lapsed, all this stuff had happened. So these players are off contract now. So they're not with clubs. You know what I mean? And they're not getting paid and those kind of things. So it's a very, very scary time for those kind of players. For the girls, they're the ones that I feel for a lot during this situation. The obviously the A-League boys have been stopped and things like that. But they're still at a club or whatever to a degree. These other ones are in limbo. And like, when does that change? What happens and things like that? It's all over the place.
It's crazy. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's just a tough time for everyone.
Yeah,
I think.
100%.
Yeah.
Society as a whole.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We just have to figure out new ways and, try and maintain. And for players, it's you take a deep, think about it, like where your future lies. Because anything can change.
But imagine
in a
being
split second.
a 9 to 15-year-old or 9 to 13ers or whatever they say the golden years are of learning, and you've got all this spare time on your hands that you could be out with the ball every day. And like I said, that's how players of old were built, kicking balls around with their mates or going out in the backyard. It doesn't happen to a degree, but imagine if you're spending that time now doing that. You've come out of this an astronomical player, feeling so much more comfortable with the ball. And this is the opportunity that you have. Is obviously, even if you're not leaving your house, if you've got a backyard or even a couple of square meters to work in, ball mastery stuff and stuff that you can be doing now to familiarize yourself with the ball is a way to make massive improvements with the game.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree.
And that's the thing. Like, there's only so much Xbox and PlayStation you can play.
Yeah.
So you've got plenty of time to go outside and kick the ball around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly what type of program some of these NPL clubs or state league clubs are giving their players as well. Like you said, that age between 9 to 15, are they taking any? I was talking to actually one of my friends' kids that plays at an NPL club, and he's like, they haven't contacted us since the day they told us there's no more training. They have not been contacted. They haven't been giving any programs. Haven't been contacted by the club. Not even a checkup.
Yeah.
So even the coaches haven't been kept in the loop.
No. I think some of these clubs are just like, yeah, whatever.
A lot of people are still finding their feet. Like, it was the same for us for a while. Like, once we closed the factory, like, it's just that mentally, like, where are we at? What are we doing? Like, it's hard, you know what I mean? And I'd imagine, like, all these clubs are run by people that could have lost their jobs, could have lost their, all their livelihood. And there's more important things than the football, you know what I mean? So I can understand it to a degree. But did you hear the rumors about them talking about NPL moving to the end of the year?
I did hear about that, yeah.
To be in line with the A-League.
Yeah, like permanently.
Yeah.
They want to do this
it's possible. It's more possible, and that's something good you touched on. I think it's more possible for the NPL club to be in line with the A-League than the A-League.
Because at one point it was. A long time ago, they had NPL 1 or whatever that was in summer, and I think the others rolled through winter. And then they changed it.
Yeah, it used to be,
Long. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that NSL days or you're talking?
No, earlier.
No, because it used to be like the Winter League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That was like State League 2 or 3.
Process is to go to summer. Like, why would you want to go to summer? I think winter's the best time to play football. I don't understand why they would want to move that.
Because they want it in line with the professional leagues. And I think it's part of that is to be able to drop players up and down. And then also when it goes into a second division, you're all kind of in line.
Yeah, but look at it straight away, and I haven't put a lot of thought into it, but then the NYL season's within that summer period as well. So then a club like Wanderers playing in their NPL comp, how are they going to compete in the NYL?
NYL gets scrapped, I think, in my opinion. If they're going to bring the NPL clubs up, I think the NYL will get scrapped. I think A-League clubs would just compete with the NPL 1 clubs or NPL 2 clubs, whatever.
Well, that was their thought, wasn't it? To have like the NYL turn it to like under 23 for the A-League clubs when they play in the second division.
Yeah. It makes more sense, I think, as well for NPL clubs to join in line with the A-League rather than the A-League joining in line, because A-League clubs need bigger stadiums. They need better facilities, I guess. And, with the NRL and AFL going on, it'll be very hard for a lot of clubs to be able to secure venues, whereas with NPL clubs, most of them own their own grounds, so they're able to do whatever they really want.
And I suppose the other thing with that would be, like, for, say, for instance, Wanderers B team, they could play before the Wanderers in the stadium, and whoever's getting kind of opportunity to more exposure and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. I think it'll
a positive kind of step.
It's for sure better for the for the NYL players to be able to compete with, a first grade Marconi or a first grade Sydney Olympic rather than, with no offense, like a NYL Central Coast Mariners team. You're gonna have more of a competition there, in my opinion, and that's what our players need.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And then at least the first grade players that aren't playing, they can drop down and play, in that second league.
I think
at the same time, they're going to get spanked by NPL teams because they spend a lot of money assembling those squads.
I think the only issue
might not be a good look.
That probably the only issue, and it's probably not really something new to us, is probably the attendance of fans will drop a lot if we align the NPL with the A League.
How many of the NPL people do you honestly think, like NPL first grade players, go and watch the A League?
No, very rare. But I'm talking all the other ones. Some of the younger kids.
Younger ones would 100%. But anything from, I'd even say 18 plus, how many are going to watch A League? So I don't think it would. If it was the youth league, then I think it would clash. But you're not playing youth league games at night, so it's not going to clash with the A League.
Yep.
That's what I think. Like, it would be that where you're playing before an A League game, and that way.
But that's the next question. Then what happens to the youth? Do the youth move to summer as well, or do youth stay in winter? Because the youth will be playing during the day, the seniors will play at night, but the youth will be supposed to be playing during the day. There's no reason you're playing during the day during summer.
No, I think they'll keep that in to stay in the winter,
and that's
all that youth stuff. Yeah.
But then that could potentially help with facilities as well. It frees it up more, gives more access to the better facilities for the younger ones if clubs did.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. So they get to play on the first team grounds.
Yeah.
Better fields,
better training,
better facilities, better training. Yeah,
more attention,
training at that same time,
and they get that attention, right?
But then
and that's the other thing.
Then on the flip side, the costs from clubs go from 9 months to 12 months a year. What I mean? So then
groundskeepers.
Who's going to bear that cost? We all know who's going to bear that cost.
Well, maybe they should stop paying some of those NPL players $4,000 a week.
That's actually a good point you touched on. Also, did you hear the CEOs of the A League talking about registration fees, and he's trying to really crack down on some of the state leagues, state federations in terms of registration fees? Did you guys say that?
NPL teams?
Yeah, NPL clubs, but more of the they I think the FFA kind of puts it more in the responsibility of the Football New South Wales, Football Queensland, where they should actually try to cap it, because at the moment it's meant to be capped, right? But
at what?
It's a pretty high cap. Yeah, it's a pretty. Isn't that right, Steve? It is meant to be capped, right?
What?
The registration fee.
They don't like clubs. Like I know a club that have a additional training that's mandatory that you have to pay. Like there's always
the ways to skate around it.
Oh god, mandatory and you have to pay.
Pardon?
Yeah.
It's mandatory and you have to pay.
It's mandatory and you have to pay. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Just a lot more money.
That happens at
couple
clubs. That happens at. But yeah, a lot of what Rob Sherman was talking about was about the divisions within the federations and things like that, which is something, if you look at it, we've got the governing body, FFA, obviously, who we don't think have done a good job. Optimistic about the new guy potentially, but obviously we'll have to wait and see. But then you've got each different member federation in the different states doing their own things, doing different things. Like 100%. Surely it has to be a head that then spits down, and FFA should be dictating to Football New South Wales. The Football New South Wales should have to listen. Or you get rid of Football New South Wales and make it FFA New South Wales or whatever. And these are just charters of the main one. That's what needs to happen. There needs to get rid of all this, the governance in all these different states where the people are like protecting their own interests within those different states. If we're serious about a collective like growth and development.
That's part of the problem we have, right, in terms of what's going on with football, is the state federations, calling their own shots. And FFA's weak, let's be realistic, in comparison to these state league clubs do whatever they want, or state federations.
The house in order, like at the top, we get the right people.
For sure.
There's been a lot of positive talk with ex-players talking about their thoughts and things like that, honestly.
Yes, thank you, yeah. And I'll watch I think it was the Golden Generation, like the 2006 World Cup team. They were talking on it, right? And they were talking about how state federations now dictate exactly what really happens with football.
So that's what I mean. But if we had a house in order at the top, and then we had them having charters in each of the different states that are following what's expected and what's wanted by them, and we're all on the same page, that's when change can happen. But at the moment, you need a percentage of votes for whatever the agenda might be, and then it comes down to who's who. Like the politics of it is just killing us in this country. It always has.
That's
unless something changes.
That was one of the part of the problems, right? Where we needed more people to be able to vote what happens, with the FFA situation. So we gave every state federation a say, and we gave the PFA whatever. But would you be, this is my idea, I'm just throwing it. Would you be more for a realistic view of scrapping the state federations and doing more of districts? So you'd have like the Southwest District, Western, and you'd have districts all over the country.
It still needs to be states, but they can't be separate entities. They can't be separate bodies. They all need to be the same.
They need to be
one company with charters in each of the different.
States. You should have like a state director of football for New South Wales
that reports to the FFA.
Yeah. But that being said, look at Australia in the government, right? Prime Minister says kids can go back to school. Premier says no. National Health, Minister says it's fine for kids to go back full time. Premier, no.
Who gets the last say?
The Premier for her state. You know what I mean? And you look at it, and you look at and that's the disconnect. You've got your Prime Minister, and we're not going to listen to him. What's that say? Like, where's the, people uniting and having that, that common goal when we can't agree? And that's exactly what's happening with that, the state leagues.
States. Yeah, 100%.
You need to realign
the National Premier League, like at the moment.
Yeah, should be state Premier League.
I don't know why they've done that. I think it was a whole idea to unite the Premier. I don't know what they tried to do.
Because they've got the National Premier League where they do that knockout comp right at the end that goes for like 2 weeks. But then you got these states. It's just, we always do stuff weird, man. Is that a cat?
No, your cats are there.
It's
make an appearance on the pod. Oh, it's opening up though. It's after something.
Yeah.
So still in shambles. Nothing's changed from our first episode.
Everyone's had a lot of time to think during this, so hopefully something will change.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that's like one of the good outcomes of this is, you get time to reflect, and it's like a pause where you can get ahead
100%.
in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
And that's where it's going to see. Yeah. And now it's going to be interesting to see, did the FFA do that?
Yeah.
Did New South Wales football do that? Or we're going to go back and they're like, no, we just took a holiday in that time. Or we had more worries about wages and stuff we didn't really get, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Always interesting.
I think for the FFA,
but if they fix it, we won't have a podcast.
That's it. What are we going to talk about?
But honestly, this is probably the best opportunity FFA and state federations have got right now to be able to sit down and literally plan out what they want to do. They have so much time.
They're still hitting clubs up for money. I heard Football New South Wales sent invoices out or requested payments from all their clubs.
Who's going to pay? Who's going to pay? You have to be silly to pay for any registration costs.
Yeah.
You have to be really silly because you don't know what's going to happen, right? You really don't know.
But that's the thing. Like, if you look at the club, say if NPL did move to the end of the year, like they're talking about, are these clubs? Do these players still have to stay at these clubs? Like, I signed from whatever to June or August. I didn't sign till March or February. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's a problem as well. That's going to open up another.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
It might be all well and good if season starts now. It's a shorter season. It finishes at a comparable time. But if they're talking about moving season to November or whatever, and then playing through that, I didn't agree to sign up till March or whatever it might be. I could be going overseas, could be doing whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
The players get to renegotiate their contracts now then.
Well, I think all their contracts will probably become void, right?
They've stopped getting paid, so I don't know how we'll see what comes out.
Yeah, I think, as well with the date. If it goes to all the way to the end of the year, a lot of
that's one of the boys are telling me that they, when it first happened, that they'd stopped getting paid. I said, well, does that mean you're a free agent now then? Like, are you able to negotiate with another club?
No, I think you're able to, because it goes back to, again, like proper, government rules. Like, if you're still down, means you're still employed, but they don't have to pay you, but you're still able to leave. I think you're still entitled to your leave. I don't know, but yeah.
But with the NPL, isn't it based on the games played, like being named on the bench?
Some just get games as bonuses. Some get base payments per week, and then they get bonuses, win bonuses, and that tops it up.
Yeah.
Some clubs are just win bonuses or whatever. I mean, just wins, losses or draws. But some have a base and then bonuses on top.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I'd say their contracts would be void now.
Yeah.
And then everyone will be free agent, and you can re-sign a whole squad. Because a lot of these clubs aren't going to have that same money anymore because,
For sure.
if youth
Sponsorship.
football doesn't kick off,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
they
what I was
have
saying
to
to
refund
Franzi.
all
The
those
goals don't
regos.
count, bro. Sorry, man. You have to
Yeah.
refund.
Not just that, but also sponsorships as well. You need to remember a lot of these businesses may have gone broke after this whole.
100%. Like what?
We don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. Maybe even some NPL clubs have gone broke now. We're the point where they can't even restart it. We don't know. We really don't know.
A-League clubs could be anybody.
Yeah. A-League clubs could go broke now.
They should.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at that.
So
Steve,
that's where we're at.
Yeah, Steve, if people want to reach out in terms of the classes and your online stuff, where do they find it?
Just through the website. So all of the stuff's through the website. You'll find all the online stuff. Through there, and then you can book sessions again. We're only opening 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So 4 sessions at 3 are available, 4 sessions at 4, and then 2 sessions at 5 because we don't really have lights. And then on Saturdays and Sundays it'll be a bit longer, but there's not many sessions, so we'll still be around, but there's not many sessions available.
Yep.
I think a couple of days next week are already full. So people are getting in.
That's good. Ali, any last comments?
No, man. It's good to see you guys.
Good to see you guys.
Something different.
Very different.
Good to see people.
That's my friend.
You know what? I can't wait to get back into the first phase straight out. Like I can't wait. Excited for that day.
The first phase to go back into.
All right, guys.
Well, you never turned up anyway, so.
Oh, come on. Heavy. All right, guys.
All right, boys. Have a good.
See you guys.
Stay safe.
Bye.